Egypt is on the news again. This country is really working hard to get known for all of the wrong reasons. Egypt bans a Dutch museum from making archaeological excavations in Egypt because this Dutch museum has featured Beyonce playing Nefertiti, Rihanna playing Nefertiti, and Nas playing Tutankhamun and the like. Egypt accuses the museum of supporting Afrocentric views and distorting Egyptian identity. The Dutch museum has condemned this banning, and the Dutch museum has also reported that they have got attacked by trolls. What are my thoughts on this? The idea that a modern nation that we call Egypt can claim and have proprietary right to historical clothing and historical figures is about as far-right ultra-nationalist as it gets. Let's look at human nature. Why this defensive behavior? A human being doesn't behave this defensively, like Egypt does, if they have nothing to hide. If it wouldn't be true that ancient Egypt was black African, why all of this drama? When Europeans played Pharaoh and Cleopatra, not a word from Egypt, because they know it's not true. But when African people and melanated people play ancient Egyptian or Kemetic characters, Egypt acts more defensively than any nation we have seen so far. Are they hiding something?
Egyptians said stop playing with them. Egypt is not in Africa. They said they don't know what you guys are looking at. Egypt is definitely not in Africa, according to them. And the Dutch people responded and said, what in the Helen Keller is going on? If you need the translation in Braille, I got you, because Egypt is definitely in Africa. And matter of fact, this accusation of falsifying history is inappropriate. The exhibition has been made with great care. As scientists, you don't accuse each other like this. I want the qualification to be withdrawn. And the Dutch are really doubling down. They're like, we're not altering crap at this exhibit. Matter of fact, one of you guys need to come see it and have a discussion, because there's nothing wrong with the exhibit at all. But the story didn't even start there, because the Dutch were already in hot water with the Egyptians for saying this. Bottom line, Egypt has a huge battle on their hands if they keep trying to claim that their people look like this and nothing like this.
So recently there was a little bit of a saga, a little bit, it wasn't a little. There was a massive saga when Netflix released the Cleopatra documentary, right? Egyptians were not very pleased with that documentary at all, because Cleopatra was played by a black woman, right? I did not cover that situation, by the way, but I'm sure a good number of us are aware that that happened. But now another situation is up, and this happened a few days ago. The Egyptians are really going hard and fighting against Afrocentrism. A little read from this article here. It says a Dutch museum says its archaeologists have been banned from carrying out excavations at a key Egyptian site over an exhibition exploring the influence of ancient Egypt on black musicians. The National Museum of Antiquities in Leiden said Egyptian authorities had accused it of falsifying history through its showcase of work by artists including Beyonce, Nas, and Miles Davis. The museum also said that it had received comments via social media that were racist or offensive in nature since the exhibition opened. The dispute comes only weeks after Egyptian authorities condemned a new Netflix docudrama series depicting Queen Cleopatra as a black African as a falsification of history. The Antiquities Ministry insisted that Cleopatra had Hellenistic Greek features, including light skin. The exhibition also looks at what scientific research has revealed about ancient Egypt and Nubia, and discusses how they have been studied from Eurocentric and Afrocentric perspectives. The ROMO said in a statement on Wednesday that it was disappointed to be informed in a recent email from a senior Egyptian antiquities official that it was no longer allowed to excavate at the Saqqara necropolis near Cairo after almost 50 years of work there. In quote, the Egyptian authorities have every right to terminate a permit for an excavation. After all, it is their land and their heritage. However, the museum considers the underlying arguments for this decision incorrect. It added, the Egyptian authorities conclude that our current exhibition is about falsifying the ancient Egyptian history. This political argument is used to express the dissatisfaction with the exhibition and to ban our excavation. The RMO also expressed surprise that the argument was being made by people who have not actually seen the exhibition. You know what I find most interesting in all of this? It's not even the controversy. What I find most interesting is the fact that for years now, Egyptians have been okay with the fact that these scientists, archaeologists, whomever go into Egypt, dig out their mummies, do all sorts of things there. They have been okay with that for years, even though we look at it like that's weird that you let these people go in and dig up mummies and just, disturb the dead. It's very disrespectful. But for years, these people were okay with all of that, right? But who would have thought that what it would take for these people to put a ban on archaeology, scientists, whomever, from going to their country to disrespect their dead, disrespect holy sites, and do all sorts of scientific disrespectful things in Egypt, right? Would be for these people to portray black people as ancient Egyptians. Who would have thought that? I know I didn't think it. Did you? Did you? Let us know down below in the comment section. Like, these people are telling us that what they find most disrespectful isn't people going to their ancestors' grave, if truly those are the ancestors, right? I mean, these people are telling us that what they find most disrespectful is not people going to their ancestors' grave to mess with their ancestors' remains, but the fact that black people played or are being portrayed as their ancestors. I don't know, the dynamics. I'm just like, wow. But one thing is for sure, though, this entire situation reveals a lot. I mean, a lot that we already know, but it's one thing for you to know, it's another thing for them to say it out loud, right? Because when you look at this entire situation historically, ancient Egyptians have been portrayed in movies by white people. And Egyptians did not have any problem with it. They did not see anything wrong or clamor, complaints. That's a controversy talking about how they are misrepresenting their history, right? But now, 2023, Netflix makes one docu-series portraying Cleopatra, a Greek, by the way, Greek, emphasis on Greek because we'll be coming back to that fact. Netflix makes one docu-series about Cleopatra and portrays her as a black woman, and now they want to go to war. Archaeologist Kiniko Museum portrays Nefertiti as a black woman. Now the world needs to stop. There is problem. They are rewriting our history, blackwashing our history. They are screaming Afrocentrism left, right, center. Since this whole thing happened, we have not found peace on TikTok. The only thing these people have proved is that they are anti-black and anti-African. That's it. All this shows is that Egyptians align more with whiteness than they do blackness. Because if they really care about their history and how they have been represented in the media, all of these years that they were represented by white people, they would have complained and talk about, oh no, ancient Egyptians were not white. But we didn't hear pim from them. So I'm like, I see what you are dropping. I'm picking it up. Okay, just so you know, I'm picking it up. But let's circle back to Cleopatra for a bit, right? Cleopatra was a Greek woman. That's what history says, right? And Greek is not in Africa, right? Okay. You know how these people like to talk about how they are not descendants of invaders, they are, indigenous to Egypt. But here these people are fighting for a Greek woman and how she's being portrayed in the media. If something funny did not happen sometime in the past, can somebody please explain to me how a Greek woman became queen in Egypt? No, 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 because let's talk about this thing really. And this is not me saying that Cleopatra wasn't Greek or that she was an African woman. I'm not saying that, right? I want to know genuinely how Cleopatra, a Greek woman, became queen in Egypt. And you have these people fighting for her and her identity. It begs the question, are you guys trying to tell us something? Because you see, when we talk about the North and how the North has been invaded for hundreds of years, even before colonization, this invaded European colonization, please, let me put that out there. Before European colonization, the northern part of Africa has, seen a lot of invasion from Greeks, Arabs. See, saying the North have seen a lot is an understatement. I don't think in English there is any way we can even describe what the North has been through. A lot has happened in the North, and that's why the North looks the way it does right now. But back to Egypt. It's just very interesting that whenever we talk about the history of Egypt and how it has seen a lot of invasions, and the people who are in Egypt right now, the white people who are in Egypt, are not native Egyptians, right? When we talk about how they are descendants of invaders and that they are no different from the white people we have in South Africa, they constantly say, oh, they are not descendants of invaders, they are indigenous to the land. But then you look at the activities of these people and the people that they are fighting to protect, right? If you truly are indigenous to Egypt, you would care about your ancestors, the pharaohs, and their remains. But you don't. You let these people come in and do whatever with it. But that one aside, right? If you truly are indigenous to Egypt, you would not be fighting for the identity of your invader. It's giving subliminal messaging. It's giving, I know the truth, but I'm going to fight to hide it and pretend like my lie is the truth. Like this brother said earlier, human beings don't act this defensively like we are seeing Egyptians acting right now, unless they have something to hide. So Egyptians, tell us please, what are you hiding? Or could it be what this science is revealed in this video that you are hiding? I made this video months ago where we saw this scientist, he took the remains of one of the pharaohs in Egypt and he was trying to figure out the race of the pharaoh. And in his findings, he found out that the pharaoh was black. But science did not lie to him as he would have hoped the science would, right? It came out 100% accurate. Man was a black man. So could this be the history that Egyptians are trying to hide, right? Could this be what they don't want the world to know? That ancient Egyptians were actually black people. And could this be the reason why they didn't care about whitewashing ancient Egypt? Because whitewashing it is better than blackwashing it, because whitewashing it actually helps them hide the truth, right? That they don't want the world to know. So now them seeing black people play ancient Egyptians, or black people being portrayed as ancient Egyptians, they're like, nah, 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 this is not what we signed up for. White people, yes, because that helps their agenda. But black people know, because that might now make people become more interested and want to know stuff about ancient Egypt, which would then lead to the truth being made public, right? And they don't want that. So is that what we are seeing happening right now? Is that what do you guys think? I think I want to leave this video here because this video is already like how many minutes long? I don't know. But I think it's pretty long right now. So yeah, could this is what they're trying to hide? Let us know down below in the comment section. But you guys know, nothing stays hidden under the sun. When breeze blow, foul yansh go open. So it's only going to be a matter of time. Whatever the truth is, whether it's black people that are ancient Egyptians, so whether it's white people that are born in the sun in Egypt that are the ancient Egyptians, so when breeze blow, foul yansh go open. Nothing stays hidden forever. We might not get the true 100% reveal, turning around and manifestation in our time, but eventually sometime in history, people are going to know, okay? People are going to find out, right? So yeah, at this point, we just let the universe do what the universe is going to do, right? So what goes around comes around. Everything must come to light eventually. Guys, right now I'm going to leave the video here before I go on this rant. I'm already ranting, as you guys can see. So let me know down below in the comment section what you think. Of course, as always, I'll see you in the next one.